Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Colleen and this channel is called Our Silver Moments. I'm really pleased that you've dropped in today and I hope that you find this recipe interesting enough to stick around. So if you enjoy it, please subscribe if you haven't already, or leave a comment below, give it a like. All those things are helpful for me and allow me to continue doing what I'm doing. So today I'm going to work on a really simple and easy dish. It's not exactly a from scratch dish. It does involve canned soups, but it makes a really interesting and delicious casserole. And we can all use another casserole in our repertoire of recipes that we have. So I think that you'll find this one kind of interesting. So I'm going to get on with it by gathering up the ingredients that I need for the first part of the recipe, and I'm going to work my magic over at the oven by getting it set to 350 degrees, and then we'll be ready to go. Now for this dish today, we're going to use a rotisserie chicken that I bought at the grocery store. This is something that many of you have access to, and a lot of you may live in areas where it's much cheaper than where we live. We live in really a small town in the heart of the Rockies, where tourism is quickly becoming our #1 industry, which means that, you know, things here have been bumped up to reflect that. And yeah, it's not always inexpensive to buy groceries here. In fact, it never is. Okay, I'm also going to need some vegetables. Now, you could use any kind of vegetables that you want in this dish. I thought I had some broccoli in my freezer, but I didn't. Instead, I have frozen peas and carrots, and I don't want them to be cold when I put this dish together, so I'm going to pop these in the microwave right now for maybe 7 minutes while I work on getting 3 cups of chicken off of this carcass. Okay, hopefully that isn't going to be too noisy there, that microwave working away in the background. This really, when I look at my counter, I've got a lot of it seems like I've got a lot of stuff on it, but the recipe doesn't require a lot of ingredients, so let's see how this works out. Let's get this guy. I picked the bird that I picked up happened to have barbecue spices all over it, and we're not using the skin anyway, so I'm not worried about that. The recipe that I have for this called for 3 chicken breasts cooked and cut up, or the equivalent of 4 cups of meat. And I think I can easily get that off of this bird, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go after the thighs. There's not a lot of good useful meat on the drums, so I think I'll leave them to put in the hubby's lunch because he happens to love the drums. And you know, this definitely doesn't need to be measured that carefully. I think if you're doing what I'm doing, you're going to easily have the chicken that you need to make this recipe. In fact, it's looking like a lot of chicken at this point, but 4 cups should be the minimum that you work with. I'm just getting some of the tissue that I don't like the looks of, and I'm just going to, we're going to cut these into smaller pieces. I'd say maybe a little smaller than bite size even, because we are going to roll these bits of chicken in crescent rolls, if you can imagine, and so we want to be able to fold them up nice. Now, if I do have a bit of chicken left over, then I'm going to put it away for a chicken sandwich for tomorrow, because that's one of my favorites. It's a good old chicken sandwich. Here. We have been busy around here since we came back from vacation, getting the windows washed and the lawn mowed and, you know, spring things, cleaning cupboards, taking things to the dump that need to go, getting all ready. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Gives us good pieces, I think. Just going to set this there. And I do believe we have plenty of chicken for this dish. There. I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need it anymore either. And I'm just going to give my hands a wash, and then I'll get back and we'll get going. Now, for the second step here, I'm going to move this away. We need to open up our crescent rolls, and I've just got the kind that you buy at the grocery store. And it doesn't have to be this brand, whatever kind you're used to using or that you have access to will work just fine. And I think this one just really busted itself out of here and may have torn, which doesn't really matter too much with these because you can heal them pretty easily. There we go. We're just going to take these apart. Yeah, this one got ripped right here. We're just going to bring it back together again. Roll them out. Break them off. And tear them. We're going to tear them into the triangles so that we can get ready to use them. Now, if you're a perfectionist and you want these to be perfect, then you're going to take a knife and you're going to cut down that dotted line. That is not me. Although maybe I should have been just there. So we'll get everything together. This is easy enough to do. So far, so good. There we go. Now, we're going to take some of this chicken. Let's get our pan ready. I've got a 9 by 13 inch casserole. And I'm going to spray it with a little cooking spray. This is just original ham to help because we're going to put cheese on this dish. So we want to be able to get the sorry, had a blank there. We want to be able to get the cheese bits off the pan after. It makes for better cleanup. So we're going to add some chicken to this. And then that's probably about 1/4 cup. And we are going to carefully roll these up. I'm going to tuck the little ends in and continue to roll all the way to the end. So it's almost like a little parcel, but if you've got some sticking out, that's not a bad thing either. No worries. And we'll carry on and do these all up. Let's see. Let me do the easy ones first. And it sounds like our veggies are done over there, which is perfect timing. And roll them up and into the pan they go. And I will continue rolling these and bring you back when I've got them all in the pan so that you can see the next step. Here I am, down to the last one. And it was by chance that this worked out because I certainly didn't measure the chicken, but it was 2 thighs and 2 breasts cut up from a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store. And it filled up my pan quite nicely. Okay, I'm just going to clean this up and wipe this counter because I've got a mess on it now. Now I've got pretty much everything else that I need here for this. My veg is cooked quite nicely, so I am going to just sprinkle it all about. Now I had 4 cups of frozen. You can use whatever you like. I just wouldn't want it to be frozen still when it went onto the dish, because the dish isn't in the oven that long, and I'm not sure that the vegetables would be thawed all the way through if they weren't in there long enough. So that was my reasoning for doing that. Now we need a bowl and a couple of cans of soup. 1 can of cream of mushroom and 1 can of cream of chicken. And we're going to mix them together with 1 cup of milk. I think it's just about time for a new can opener. You know, you need to replace them every few years, I guess. Seems like that's what I've done. Maybe I just haven't bought the right brand along the way. And I have to say I have had this one for quite some time, so maybe it's just old age like the rest of us. There. We'll get around there. I feel like only half of it's working. In here, now I know that there are lots of people out there that don't like to work with canned soup, and you certainly can use your own canned cream soup mixture in there if you like. One of my earlier videos had a cream soup base in it. In fact, it might have been one of my either first or second video that I ever made had a cream soup. Now I'm going to dump in the milk. And then I'm going to add some flavoring to this because I just like these flavors together and with almost everything. So I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of garlic powder and a half a teaspoon of onion powder in there. Because of the soup, I am not going to add any more salt to this until I have, mixed it up quite well. I added no salt to the vegetables, but I can't, there's always a bit of salt in the rotisserie chicken. I just don't want to get it over salted. And it's still going to have cheese on top of it too, so you can see this doesn't take a whole lot of time and doesn't take a whole lot of ingredients. I won't say on this dish that you probably have all the ingredients in your pantry because I don't usually have any of those little crescent rolls in my pantry, but you need them for this dish. So now we're going to bring the dish over and we're going to get this all over it. Seems kind of weird, but trust me here, it comes out quite good. Cover it all. Get it over to the edges. And, oops, maybe I should have cleaned the dish out. Oh my goodness. Okay. And that. And then last, but certainly not least, to this dish we're going to add about 2 cups of cheddar cheese. And this happens to already be grated, but if you have a block in your fridge and you want to use that up, by all means do that. I find that a good handful of cheddar is probably close to a cup, so that's how I've measured it. And now this is going to go into the oven, and I just have to double check the timing on that. It's going in the oven for 40 minutes, and then we'll have a peek at it and see how it's doing. And I will see you then. Here we go. It's all bubbly and ooey gooey, and I can't think of all of the things I could say about it. Smells really good. Obviously, when you see it bubbling like that and it's got cream sauce in it, you're going to want to leave it and let it set into itself for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then I will come back and I'll cut a piece, and I will let you know what I think about this recipe. So I'll be right back. Well, the time has passed and I am ready to give this a go. I set a timer so that I didn't leave it overly long, so it has been sitting now for 15 minutes. I'm just going to scoop one out. It's kind of handy that they're, you know, little parcels, so you can just get a little parcel out. Let's move this out of the way. It's still very hot. And this is what it looks like. Still pretty steamy. And let's give this a go. I'm curious about how much of the crescent roll you can taste. You know it's there. Because you can taste something different in there. I wouldn't have said it's a crescent roll, but it is very tasty. And I'm regretting not adding a little salt, because I think now that it's cooked it needs a little. But you know what, I would make this dish again. It's really good. Something completely different. And as I said earlier, you could add different vegetables to it, which would add a completely different texture to the dish, and you could certainly add different spices to it. I just added onion powder and garlic powder, and I probably could have even added as much as a teaspoon of each of those. I only added a half a teaspoon of each. So you could really do several things to change this up, change the spices, change the vegetable, but overall it's a really good dish. And I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give it a like, comment below. I look forward to reading your comments all the time, and I will see you again really soon on the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.